Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
Is there something I'm missing?
Yes, the falcon swooped down, picked Trevor up a few feet into the air. I chased after him and tried to get the dog. He dropped down onto the ground. Trevor was crying and whimpering. He had lacerations all over his back. I knew we were going to need stitches.
In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. Stop. Is that true? I don't want you to understand. I want you to overstand.
Yes, sir.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. That's not gonna happen. Not up in here, not today. And boom goes the dynamite.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Rebecca Collins claims her Chihuahua needed veterinary care after he was viciously attacked by the defendant's falcon, and says he should pay for the injuries.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
Ms. Collins is suing Eric Lawson in the amount of $800.
All right, so we got a situation involving a falcon and a Chihuahua. And anytime you've got those two animals in a situation, that usually does not end well. Ms. Collins, you're suing for $800 over injuries your Chihuahua sustained. What's the dog's name?
That is correct, Your Honor. My dog's name is Trevor.
And what happened with Trevor?
I was at the park about 7:30 in the morning with my husband. We were taking our morning walk like we always do. We usually take Trevor with us. I had taken him off the leash because I see many people at the park with their dogs off their leashes.
Does the park require dogs to be on a leash?
I have never seen a sign that says that we need to have a leash. I know that that's a California thing.
I mean, it's done for a reason. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, but I've also seen many families there with their dogs off leash. I mean, it's kind of a community where we bring our dogs to the park and they have an opportunity to stretch their legs a little bit more than, say, a dog park might offer.
All right, and Mr. Lawson?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a falcon.
I do.
That falcon was also in the park.
Yes, Your Honor.
How did that come about?
There are several parks in the area. I usually go to that one on Wednesdays.
Why that particular park?
Well, I went to this particular park because it has a leash law.
What does the flying of the bird have to do with the leash law for the dogs?
If the bird sees an animal roaming, it's a possibility it may attack. But because I keep the bird fed...
It's a possibility?
It's a possibility, but
I love how he just sort of made that real smooth. You know, there could be a chance that if the dog's off the leash and it's small, that falcon could go,
Well, Your Honor, I keep these birds well fed so that doesn't happen.
Well, this Chihuahua sounds like it was a little snack before the full course later on. Because there's not any dispute that the Chihuahua and the falcon connected. Do I have the story right, or is there something I'm missing?
Yes, the falcon swooped down, picked Trevor up a few feet into the air.
He didn't pick the dog up.
I chased after him and tried to get the dog. He dropped down onto the ground. Trevor was crying and whimpering. He had lacerations all over his back. I knew we were going to need stitches. So I picked up the dog. I called my husband over. I gave him the dog so I could look at his back. And sure enough, they had these huge gashes all down the back of my poor dog's back because of his falcon. See this bird fly over to this man with his arms sticking out. And what kind of man has a license for a falcon anyways?
Your Honor, if the dog was on the leash,
right there,
this wouldn't have happened.
Why wouldn't it have happened?
Because I've trained the bird to not attack animals that are leashed.
How many times have you seen people in that park with their animals, specifically dogs, off leash?
Maybe 2 or 3.
Okay.
And honestly, Your Honor, in this county, in Yolo County, it's illegal to have your dog off of a leash. And I have the paperwork to prove it here.
I'd like to see it, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And in that document as well is a sign saying that you have to keep your dog leashed at this park.
What's the falcon's name?
Scarlett O'Hara.
What have you given me here to look at? Let's see. You've given me the leash law in the area. Are you aware of the laws in the city of Davis regarding?
I am aware that there is a rule to keep your animals on a leash. I am also aware that at this public park, it is quite common for people to allow their dogs off the leash. For the record, Your Honor, I can't take Trevor to a regular dog park. The other dogs are way too aggressive for him.
Question. What has been the communication between the two of you that ended up landing you here?
Your Honor, she contacted me on my website and threatened me.
He refused to tell me any of his personal information on
She
the
was
day of,
screaming
so
at
I
me and
had to
threatening
Google
me.
him
She
and
said she'd have me
find
arrested
his
for this.
website for his falcon, where I messaged him and told him that his animal, wild and feral, came down and harmed my dog, causing $800 worth of veterinary bills, and that's including sedation, antibiotics. It was a 10-week. I do, and I also have a picture of Trevor in recovery.
Any pictures of Scarlett?
There is a picture in that dossier I gave you,
Let's
sir,
take a look
Your
at
Honor.
this falcon, just so I know what I'm dealing with. Because I know what Chihuahuas look like, and I know what falcons look like, but...
Coming up on America's Court.
I've never seen a sign posted. I am just aware that we should keep our dogs on leashes because many aggressive animals do tend to do some things that are not safe around others.
And later.
All right, and how did Mr. Davies ruin your moment?
Well, I had informed Mr. Davies of there was another spot we could go to, and Mr. Davies recklessly captained the ship towards that spot.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Rebecca Collins, who is suing Eric Lawson for property damage.
Oh, for some reason, I thought it was going to be a bit bigger.
No, Your Honor. It's a 3-pound bird.
You and Scarlett here.
Yes.
I mean, it's a beautiful animal.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
How much does Trevor weigh?
3 pounds.
Trevor's pretty small.
He's very small.
Because I'm looking at the bird here and thinking, this bird doesn't look that big. For some reason, I was thinking of some massive thing that just whoosh and took the...
Compared to Trevor, it was huge.
Okay.
Your Honor, it's a 3-pound bird. It can't pick up a 3-pound dog in the air. It's
That could pick
impossible.
up a squirrel. Trevor weighs as much as a squirrel.
A squirrel is not 3 pounds, Your Honor.
Oh, now we're going to descend into the weight of squirrels. That's where we are with this case? Okay. Just let me know since I'm here. Dogs need to be leashed and cleaned up after at all times. Please respect those around you. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that particular sign. It is a huge park. I've never seen a sign posted. I am just aware that we should keep our dogs on leashes because many aggressive animals do tend to do some things that are not safe around others.
Are you disputing the issue as to whether or not Scarlett caused injury to Trevor?
No, I'm saying, yes, it happened, but I think the severity of it is exaggerated.
Because I'm looking at this picture of Trevor with this bandage. Trevor looks more than 3 pounds to me. Now it makes sense to me why Trevor was injured, but ultimately wasn't carried off because Trevor was just too heavy.
We got lucky.
But not for lack of trying. All right, so here's what we have. I've got your vet bills totaling $800. Why wouldn't you give her your information?
She was screaming at me and threatening that she'd have me arrested, and I don't respond well to that, so I said no.
Okay.
And I offered to show her my license, and she refused, my falconer license.
Was Trevor, her dog, present when she was screaming at you?
Her husband was holding him from a distance.
Okay. It's been my experience that people in car accidents, one party may be screaming and acting outraged and upset, still requires you to exchange information, registration, ID.
I did offer to give her my falconer license, and she refused, so.
Is that true?
I didn't believe that he had a license for a wild bird.
So he did offer to give you his license, and the license would have had the name on it as well as any identifying information.
I wasn't thinking about it like that, Your Honor. I was simply thinking he should just show me his license. He refused to do that, and then he was like, I'll show you my falcon license, which is crazy. I had to look up to see if people could actually have a falcon, and I guess it's true, but I didn't think that was a real document when he offered it to me.
So if you damage someone's property, and you put that damaged property in the position of not being in the same condition prior to before the damage, what's the person who's now holding damaged property supposed to do other than try to make sure they can restore the property to its original state? Does that make sense so far? You following me?
It does, Your Honor, but I mean, had she had her dog on a leash, this would not have happened. And there is a leash law that she disobeyed.
So if you disobey a law, what happens in California? Because everyone's supposed to carry insurance, right?
Correct.
So I'm hit, I don't have insurance. Am I still able to sue the other person who hit me?
You're able.
Yes, you are. So the lack of not having a leash doesn't negate the fact that she still suffered an injury. Now the question is, should she receive the full benefit of the loss because the dog wasn't leashed? And based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel is going to come down in favor of the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is she getting $800? Not today, not up in here. But are you entitled to be compensated because there is some sort of liability on your part for not having that dog leashed? So what should be the punishment that you should have to endure as a result of not doing what you were supposed to do? This is where the fairness and equity part of what I do comes into play. And given that your total damages are $800, I'm going to dock you $200 for not having that leash on that dog. So you're still going to walk away with $600. That is the order. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $600.
Both parties, you have anything to say to each other before we walk out?
No, Your Honor.
I'm thankful that things worked out in my favor, and I wish you the best.
Let's step outside, folks.
Coming up on America's Court with Judge Ross.
When the whales erupted from the water, it sprouted water onto myself and my camera equipment, ruining the opportunity for me to propose to my girlfriend. And I could enter
So the whales were wailing?
Yes, the whales were wailing.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. Riley Santos claims his marriage proposal and camera gear were soaked on a whale-watching cruise and says the defendant is to blame for getting too close when a whale breached the water. Mr. Santos is suing Kevin Davies for $610.
Mr. Santos, prove your case.
I had gone on this whale-watching cruise captained by Kevin Davies.
And what made you decide to go on this particular adventure?
So this was going to be a nice throwback with my girlfriend, Kelly Turner. Mm-hmm. This was one of our first dates at a whale-watching cruise.
And what can someone expect when they are engaging in this type of activity?
Yeah, so I'd say a 90% success rate on marine wildlife on our cruises.
And the 10% when it's not successful, it's due to what?
For not seeing any whales.
Did you see some whales?
It did, but it took us an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh my God, how dare those whales not be on your time schedule?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Who do they think they are? It's shocking. My flabbers are gasted.
I mean, to be frank, Your Honor, the whole point of that cruise was for us to go see some marine life, and I was going to use the opportunity to propose to my girlfriend.
So you really needed those whales to get right.
Yes.
All right, and how did Mr. Davies ruin your moment?
Well, I had informed Mr. Davies that another boat was radioing in that there was another spot we could go to, and Mr. Davies recklessly captained the ship towards that spot.
Connect the dots for me as to how that impacted you and the whales.
When the whales erupted from the water, it sprouted water onto myself and my camera equipment, ruining the opportunity for me to propose to my girlfriend. And I could enter
So the whales were wailing?
Yes, the whales were wailing.
What does it have to do with the whale?
I think that there's a certain level of distance that is safe for a lot of whale-watching tour guides to do. I mean,
and what are you basing that on? Do you have expertise in?
Yes, I've been a nature photographer for the past 8 years.
You're a nature photographer.
Of marine life in particular, Your Honor.
All right, and so that gives you background training and expertise on whales.
Well, in terms of being able to navigate safely.
Let's assume that he was not navigating safely. What does that have to do with the whale?
It gave the chance for the whales to ruin my camera equipment.
Whale was like, you're gonna learn today. You're not gonna be coming up here up in my space.
Coming up on America's Court.
You
can only
frankly
imagine
are the
what-
reason why my engagement ended.
I think there were bigger issues there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bold of you to assume this little Nepo baby.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program. America's Court is back with the case of Riley Santos, who is suing Kevin Davies for negligence.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
Well, I'd like to enter into evidence the repair costs of my camera equipment.
Sure, let's take a look at it. You need to have your shutter replaced, a sensor cleaning, lens mount realignment, and you're blaming Mr. Davies and not the whale itself.
Well, Your Honor, this isn't the first time I've been on a whale watching cruise. I've brought my camera equipment on experiences, excursions, and I've never had my camera equipment ruined. This is how I make a living, Your Honor. I need this camera equipment repaired.
Anything else, sir?
Not at the moment.
Mr. Davies, anything you want to add?
I think the whale should be up here, honestly.
He's quick.
I've been a whale watching tour guide for, 9, 10 years. And every time someone steps on board, we tell them, this is a wildlife excursion. There's gonna be some variables here. You're gonna have behavioral changes. You're gonna have condition changes, weather changes. Mr. Santos here, he pulled me aside during our introductory period where I'm explaining the rules and liabilities of our company to explain his plan to propose. And I was fine with it. People have done that before. It was great until Mr. Santos decided to make the tour about himself. He would consistently berate me. He would question my experience and my education. He did this in front of other guests, in front of the other passengers.
And then after that, you and the whale had a conversation. You were like, okay, here's what we're doing here.
I said, we're
when he
teaming
gets
up.
to the point with the camera, and the whale was like, I got you, dog.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. This is America's Court with Judge Ross, Emmy nominated for Outstanding Legal Courtroom Program.
Are you guys still engaged?
Unfortunately not, Your Honor.
Wonder why?
That's so rude of him.
You
can only
frankly
imagine
are the
what-
reason why my engagement ended.
I think there were bigger issues there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bold of you to assume this little Nepo baby.
Oh, look at you throwing the shade. Okay. Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gal was going to come down in favor of the Nepo baby. Mr. Davies, your matter's dismissed. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case has been dismissed.
Hopefully your photography business takes off so you can book a private tour next time.
Well, I hope that your entire whale watching cruise goes down in flames.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.